Mosoma, Mosoma. Kuma, 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 kuma. Tanga tivo, ombu satanga, ne usama kosa. Alumuna, sisi au, ya sama kosa. Amuna yeye, koma, sama kosa.
Hello, this is Tempo Afric's TV program, Beyond the Headline, and I'm your host, Petros Haile. Today we have a special guest, model and designer, NYAMAL both Dole. NYAMAL is not a new person for us. She's been here before, and I would say about a couple of years ago. And we talked about her modeling career, intense for about half an hour, I would say 45 minutes. But this is a follow-up. And the reason for today's program is she participated on a program called Ankara Festival in Los Angeles, and we'll talk about that, but we will go beyond that and talk about NYAMAL, her since 2007, I would say, her experience in modeling locally as well as nationally, and her places she visits, and what it means to her, this modeling business. Welcome, NYAMAL. Okay, my question is, I know you've been into the business for many years, and you just got back from Ankara Festival in Los Angeles, but I wanted to start from the scratch. So how did you get into modeling and designing business? And then I'll do the follow-up question. Who's NYAMAL? You know, her career as a fashion designer and model.
Thank you, Petros, and thank you, Tempo Africa TV, for having me today. I'm very happy to be back here. Again, my name is NYAMAL Boto, for those of you that may not know, and I am the designer of Newbie Collections. So I created Newbie Collections about maybe 10 years back now. And before, there has been, you know, kind of ups and downs and things like that. Of course, when you're becoming a designer and you're trying to invest in it, it could take a lot of work. But lately, it has been picking up very well, and I'm very happy and impressed with that. I started making clothes since I was in middle school and high school. I had fun just making my own dresses to catch up to everyone, you know, wearing the trendy latest thing. At that time, I was probably 14. And then I started modeling actually at that time, so I was doing more modeling then. So any shows I go to or audition, I would try to wear whatever I made, and as well as to my school. So I continued on modeling until I was, up until now, really. But it was more of a full-time then for me, until I started to establish more into the designing business. My very first show was at Mall of America, and it was around 2007.
Okay.
I was probably 18, 18 at the time. It was interesting. It was different. It was hosted by Fox News, and it was probably one of the most biggest thing I was thrown on for my very first time ever showcasing.
Okay.
Then ever since it just took off, yeah,
Okay.
and I love every bit of it now.
From 2007 on.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm also a witness in 3 or 4 occasions that you did a fashion show at the History Center over Brooklyn Center, and
Yeah, a little timeline to that. I've probably done numerous shows now. Around that time, after my first show, Mall of America, I've started working a lot with Amsala newspaper. I started working with Petros, of course, the Africa Global Roots. Done a couple of shows, to name few places. There was one on American Boulevard, and there was Minnesota History Center, and then there was an African pen that they do every year.
okay,
I did that quite a lot by Nathan.
okay, Nathan.
Yeah, he hosted that one. And then along the way, starting from 2012 up until this point, I started doing a lot more bigger shows where I was traveling a lot. Probably 2012 was my busiest year traveling. But I wasn't only doing fashion too as well. I was doing pageants and networking and modeling as well.
Okay.
Where I have landed in Caribbean 3 times, Europe twice, and of course Africa in Ethiopia. I got a chance to meet a lot of people in my home country in Ethiopia, which was a big deal to me.
Okay,
I was very
okay.
proud that happened. But I was there actually as a contestant in a pageant to represent my region of Gambela at the time. But I got to connect with more people, so I think in the near future when I go back to Ethiopia, I will be able to do more within the fashion industry kind of level there. So those are just to name few of the countries that I have been to. I've traveled pretty much anywhere in the United States. Last year, I went to LA and New York, showcased New York Fashion Week and Ankara Festival, which we will talk about later today, the Ankara Festival of this year. And also have been in other different states here in the United States.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you see, you're no more local. You know,
Yeah.
you're going Europe, Africa, and the islands, pretty much the entire globe. You mentioned that you're from Gambela, Ethiopia, and I don't mean to bring that subject here, but Gambela culture has been suppressed way back in history, and it did not come out, let alone to represent Ethiopia as an ethnic group. What changed? What brought this change in Ethiopia? Or, I mean, from your perspective, I don't mean to answer your question. Go ahead.
Yes. You're right, it has been suppressed. You'll be surprised of how much of our history really has been suppressed. If we go way back to, the whole how the people and the culture was drawn into the country. Of course, you have people coming from, starting from Egypt, traveling down to Sudan, to Ethiopia. And then you have the other side that traveling down from Saudi Arabia and Yemen to Ethiopia. Those two have met in one big land there. And those two have two different category of fashion as well. I mean, fashion is what identifies you. Fashion is who you are, and fashion, it comes in different forms, different level, different image. So you have the Kushites down to the Nubians and those at the time that would wear like ancient dresses of like the Babylonian or the Egyptian, the all white chiffon or linen kind of print material. And then the Nubians, who were most of like the agricultural people, who were to wear maybe like cut prints or like more belly showing with longer skirts, which comes in different solid colors, you know.
Okay.
And then traveling down to Sudan, to Ethiopia, where more beading came out, more accessories that people wear nowadays. And then the people who have always been in the land at the time, which were the people who were not recognized for a very long time in the uncivilized world, you know, where people either don't have clothes or little clothes or wearing butt laps, and then they still wear the Egyptian necklines, but have changed so many times into adding more beadings and decorations and the chokers and all these wristbands and all these heavy bangles that they wear, which you see mostly now in like Gambela or Southern nationality and people, Hamare, down to Kenya, the Maasai, and then along to Sudan, the Nuer tribe, who are also on that end of the country. Those came from the Nubia, the Egyptian, the old culture, the ancient culture, and they still carry it on till today. So, but when you go down to the eastern Ethiopia, where you have them coming from Saudi Arabia, from India, or other parts of Asia, and then have mixed down to what made the Ethiopian people today, Amara, Tigray, and all those other groups there. Their fashion, you see metallic, you see shiny print, you see gold, you see a lot of those things, which come from the category of like the Indian print, the Indies and the Asian print, you know. And then they kind of made a little cultural combination there when they have come together, where you see like the aroma beadings and but still have that forms of like the Indian kind of look and those things like that. So going back to that little history is, it really opened up a lot to my eyes, and I think that's how I'm able to see the fashion in different ways. Because now it's two different groups, and now we're one Ethiopia. So to take it into the moderation, you're bringing down the people who were suppressed for a long time. Now they're coming back into the culture when they have been dominated by the Eastern, who were more powerful at the time and were good with the tradings, when the people who were suppressed for a long time were workers of the Nubians and the Babylonians at the time. But now that all that is changed, now they're finally coming up, and all the talents that are hidden there have something to contribute into the country, along with the people that have already done their part and what made the image of what Ethiopia is today.
I noticed some of your work, you're mixing those on your fashion design. You know, you see some design,
Netala, beading, all that stuff,
and at the same time you bring your own traditional culture into it. So you create some kind of fusion between the two cultures. Is that how would you describe it?
Let's talk about my 2015 designs that I did this year. That will give you kind of an idea of different cultures that I pick out to put the garment together. The Ankara Festival LA 2015, it was a huge success. I love it. This was my second going back. They loved the whole bringing out the Nubi collection, representing the East, and bringing in something different. There were two different sides of the garment. There were the West African print, and there were the East African kind of an attire. So if we talk specifically about the East right now, there was one black dress. It's very flowy, has a lot of chiffon into it, and there's a gold strip band around it. And then it has a gold choker that kind of matched with it. That dress, it combines probably 3 different groups in there. So the whole chiffon and the flowing and the way it's designed, it represents the old the old goddess of
West
the
Africa.
Nubian,
Nubian. Okay.
the Nubian, the
Okay.
Kushites, and the Egyptians, and passing down to the Abyssinia and all those things. That's what it's portraying there.
Okay.
Like that dress that you see right now in the picture, that one is definitely bringing out the whole Nubian culture.
Okay, I can see that.
Nubians didn't really wear all white.
Okay.
But they wore some of the whites in the royal kingdom, or when there were kings and queens at the time, when the Egyptians were all white. But when you see the little black collar around it, it's like a hoodie, but it's also like a shawl at the same time.
Uh-huh.
You know, our people, they like to cover their heads a lot, you know, so you kind of have that and combine it into it. But the fact that it's a two-piece, a lot of the Nubians at the time, they wear two pieces.
Okay.
They're always wearing belly stuff. Yeah. And when the dress is always long and flowy, you have chiffon over a shorter layer of material. And to make it modern, of course, you have the shorts that makes it the modern world. Okay. That dress that you see right now is a combine of like the Eastern Ethiopian with the Western Ethiopian. You have the Semitics and the Kushites kind of combined together. The crop top is all metallic Hindi print, Indian print, 100% Indian, which is what you see a lot in the Nutella, the stuff that are put on Tigray's dress Amara people. Yep. And the black part of it is the old Nubian culture where you wear these flowy, long garments. And a lot of time they have a lot of wraps going on, and then they have maybe one long scarf that comes around it. Mm-hmm. So that's what combines with this dress, putting it together. Okay. And it's something you probably don't really see very often, so you can't really say is it contemporary or is it American kind of fashion.
Yes.
Yeah, you have two different groups of Ethiopia put in that one dress. Yeah. And that's what makes it.
And
so now, with this dress here, you're putting the East and the West together.
Okay.
Then the Kushites at the time, yes, have spread out far to the west and would have Nigeria and Uganda. Mm-hmm. But they have created a lot of trend with their material, the Ankara, the colorful prints, which a lot of them were trades between the Europeans and the West Africans at the time. Okay. So you have the West African Ankara, and then you have the solid polyester satin material on the other side of it, because most of the East, we wear solid colors. Yeah. Then the West, they wear colorful. Okay. And then that dress in the middle there is kind of what you see, that the neckline is an Egyptian kind of inspired neckline, and then down the front is an Ethiopian inspired that goes to it. Okay. And it's all solid colors. Okay. So that combines both of the countries. Okay. I mean, the whole Africa. The continent, the entire and continent. with these white dresses here, the one in the middle, you have it's more of a Guragueña kind of a look. I was going to say that. Yeah, I can see the so now you're bringing in the southern part of Ethiopians, combined with the Kushites and the Nubians kind of a look, and then you have the neckline collar, which represents that. And it also can portray a lot in the indie fashion. Okay. Yeah. Which also comes out from like the Adre and Hatter and all those other groups there. Okay. The white dress that's on left and right, that one is very modern. It was kind of like I'm an American girl, but the American girl, and you add the neckline is kind of what brings out the Nubian, the old Egyptian, kind of an East African inspiration to it. But you can also look at it in a different way. It would be like the vintage 70s dress. 70s, you know? Something like back in the 70s when the fashion were coming out, there was a lot of flair and the dress were shorts, and you go to a party and just, you know, just go away.
Very true.
That's kind of, it can kind of bring both of the American and the African at one.
And this one?
With this dress, the style represents more couture. But the neckline collar that you see there is to keep that also, again, Nubian,
That
Kusha,
element,
it's all
okay.
those inspiration there to it, where you see Hamare, Maasai people that are wearing stacks and stacks of beadings around their neck.
Yeah.
Except here I'm using the material.
Material.
Yeah. Which to make it more simple with the dress as creating it in all in one solid dresses.
Wow.
But again, you have the two separate pieces, which represent that old Egyptian kind of Nubian style, with the slit on the front.
Wow.
But the
Okay.
fabric is 100% Ankara,
Okay.
so you're bringing the east and the west together again.
Okay.
With this one here, that's the dress I was explaining at first. This one is all Ethiopia,
Okay.
all Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt at once.
Combined.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have the waistband and the neck is 100% embroidery woven. The Ethiopian embroidery in metallic that
Yes.
they put on their white dresses.
Yep. Okay.
Instead of the dress being white, I took like black
Different color.
chiffon.
Okay.
It's kind of a crumple chiffon material. I fell in love with it.
Oh yeah.
And then down on the edge of the dress, you have a little bit of gold ribbing strip to it, which you see that a lot on Ethiopian dresses.
Dress too as well.
And to add that neckline there, you can see it comes down a little bit on the front. That again represents the old Nubian, the Egyptian kind of inspired look, except it's all made out of the Ethiopian Nutella parts.
Okay. Design.
And then on the back, you can see the chiffon is flowing down, which was at the time the royal kingdom, the daughter of the pharaohs,
Okay.
is what they would
Wow.
wear at the time. So I hope you can see a little bit of what I'm trying to portray, because you're taking the history of what made Africa, and with the difference that made the East, the difference that made the West.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
all being told in the same story of
Same story.
fashion.
It's amazing. Yeah, you're just putting different cultures together, and there's
Mhm.
pieces that represent a particular culture in every dress. You're so young, but very creative. Yeah?
I have to do it while you're still young.
This is great. So this is what you showed in Ankara Festival 2015, which is about 3 months ago. How was the reception? How did people receive your products when they see this in Ankara, California?
For the Ankara Festival?
Yeah, for the festival.
It was beautiful. I can say Ankara Festival is probably one of the most largest show ever produced by our people.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what made me proud. It made me
Yeah.
proud of who I am. It made me proud of, I love Africa. We have so much talent.
So
It's
much to show.
amazing. And I'm proud of the guy who specifically created Ankara Festival. His name is Jagabani Lentini.
Okay.
So he has his crew, and they're called Team Lentini, and they put this whole show together. But he created this, and his whole idea was to promote the African fashion, the African talent. Let it out. Come join the Hollywood. Let the whole world see it.
Perfect.
And he had made that come true.
Okay.
And when I first saw that event, I almost just dropped in tears.
Did you?
you
Okay.
know.
Good. No, this is
It
great.
was
This is a
amazing.
great
I'm
product.
really proud of him, and it shows me that as long as we keep going in this direction that we are right now, we have a big continent that's waiting for us.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're contributing a lot to that cultural unity, or
Yeah.
in a form of fashion and design. We have one video to show about your ethnic culture, so people get to know NYAMAL a little more. I think it's from Nuer, right?
Yeah. The
okay.
tribe specifically is Nuer.
Nuer.
Yeah. Even the language is singing
Yeah.
Nuer.
We only have one video for today, but next time you come back, we'll show a lot more.
Enjoy it.
I believe the video is almost ready.
Du nouveau à Minneapolis, Tempo Afric Travel. Vous voulez voyager? Achetez vos billets d'avion à l'agence de voyage Tempo Afric Travel. Téléphone 612 729 01 76. Avec l'agence de voyage Tempo Afric Travel, pas de problème de connexion, pas de problème de transfert de vol. Avec l'agence de voyage Tempo Afric Travel, c'est le voyage en toute tranquillité, en toute beauté, de votre maison jusqu'à votre destination. Votre satisfaction est notre plaisir.
bulkel metathire way dano wal go chapukulu we chaga jakamrar ke taga taga wala tin kedonde wala jet jangwa jabulan wa do kon jeleli jaw puj
heliro liro heliro liro heliro liro heliro liro yenya ben wale lumne yang 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 lumne yang
jara chuwara gara
Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Heber 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 Bermandon konna berbandon kon Heber 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 Echul medo do we serem medo do kel Heber 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 Bermandon konna berbandon kon Heber 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 Achul me do we serem me do kel
dinamu go ko latte dinga ji doñu ko lattu ciura bi ngi yen gadi jiti ro kon bandu dinamu go ko latte dinga ji doñu ko lattu ciura bi ngi yen gadi jiti ro kon bandu dong ne way dana longal ine kawrare lire go Afric o ban ngar ni ciam haha wala tini go no mo go lo mi chati mo thai da nana je go o ban ngar chat go o ci ko ro paru ya tiaw pu
heliro liro heliro liro heliro liro heliro liro yenya ben wale lumne yang 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 ken kon
ora jet wala tin go yoyde
Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Nyachol nyakake pandus kedrusran Heber 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 Bermandon konna berbandon kon Heber 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 Echul me do we serem me do kel Heber 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 Bermandon konna berbandon kon Heber 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 Achul me do we serem me do kel
dinamu go ko latte dinga ji doñu ko lattu ciura bi ngi yen gadi jiti ro kon bandu dinamu go ko latte dinga ji doñu ko lattu ciura bi ngi yen gadi jiti ro kon bandu
Dwanje jalir ci kam wana jalira no mo dwanje lam dwanje no ki wana cha tiap
program, Tempo Afric. Now, you've seen NYAMAL dancing while the music was on, and she's gonna have to explain. This is from nowhere, right?
Yep.
Okay. She's still dancing actually. This is a traditional Nuer music. Explain to us. Go ahead. I know.
When this song first came out, I laughed. It was funny, and I was also very surprised too, and joyful at the same time.
Yeah,
It was just a bunch of mixed feelings. For one, it reminded us of our life. You know, when we were young, we were little kids. I mean, I was very little. I get to enjoy maybe only 5 years of my childhood since I was born in Ethiopia. Then I came here. But it just sometimes breaks my heart just like to grow up there and be able to experience that a little bit more. And me watching it just shows me that, you know, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Everything you see in that video, that's daily life. That's you know, last time I went to Ethiopia and I went to visit there, I went straight to Gambela, and people are happy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you see the lady who was preparing the
Yes.
food. You know, that's how they do their tips.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you go to the city, they use the mill. Yeah. And then when you go to like these countryside, then they use the grinding thing, and then they do the I don't even remember what they're called.
The same here. You're asking them.
And then they use the big log with like the
Oh yeah, that thing. I know. That I know they use.
and they do that to match it up more,
Okay.
prepare the food.
Oh.
That's a big deal.
Oh,
You know,
no.
the whole family comes together,
Yeah.
everybody eat, enjoy, gossip, laugh, talk about everything, you know. And then the girls who, the younger girls actually, the one who are in a circle,
Okay.
there's a name to that dance. In our language, it's called lunjok, you know.
Joke, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like where everybody grabs their hands, and then one person gets in the middle,
Okay.
and then
okay.
and then the next person does the same
Does the same
thing, so
thing.
it continue on until everyone is
Yeah.
done, you know. And then after that, then everybody back out. They go right back in, and then one person get in the center, back out. It's a really fun game
It
in
is
your
a
childhood.
game.
If you grew up in Ethiopia,
Yeah.
you had a blast.
Well,
Yeah.
I grew up in Ethiopia, so
And
I
then-
know exactly. You know, some of, I don't dance, but I've
Yeah.
seen it. Another thing that I notice is some of the dresses. I can see it in your design.
Oh yeah, the traditional.
Yeah, the some of the
Mhm.
jewelries that
Yeah.
you use.
So they wear a lot of beads.
Oh yeah, I noticed
A
that.
lot of beads.
Okay.
There's always at least one bead
Yeah.
tied around your head.
Okay.
Different tribes in Ethiopia. In Gambela,
Yeah.
there's about 6 different tribes in Gambela.
Gambela, okay.
So they have like the newer people. Us, we wear just the straight one across our head.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for both guys and girls. And then
Anuak.
Huh?
Anuak is the other one, right?
Anuak people they wear theirs a little differently.
A little different.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't remember exactly, but a little differently.
Yeah, I'm familiar. So I think there's a
Mhm.
majority in that neighborhood. That's
Yeah.
why I keep saying Anuak.
And
Okay.
then the butt lap part
Yeah.
of the beads is typically worn a lot more by Anuak people
Okay.
than Nuer people.
Okay.
The Nuer people they wear the same thing like the what do you call it? The brown stuff, the one
Okay.
that looks like it's wood or strings. Yeah, they wear a lot of those
Mhm.
around their waist.
Okay. Okay.
Horsehair.
Horse.
Yeah.
I told you you're asking the wrong
I only
person.
remember because Aroma people use it a lot too, because they put one on their.
Yeah, they even make a hair out of
Yeah,
it.
they put it over their head, and yeah.
During the dance.
So Nuer people they wear that a lot, and they do the one on their arm to do this
this
dance thing with it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Those they wear a lot, and then they wear a lot of beads around their waist, and
Okay.
also a lot of beads around their neck. And they wear like different kind of beads around their
Beads
arm,
around.
depending on however you want to decorate yourself.
Okay.
For children, it's different. Children, they wear like maybe 2 or 3 beads around their waist.
Yeah, okay.
No clothes, mostly.
Yeah.
And a one necklace. There's there's if you ever see a black and white bead,
Yeah.
or a bead that is one but it has like strips of a black, strip of a white, strip of a red,
That represents.
or a green,
Okay.
that is 100% originally Noor.
Noor.
Yeah,
Okay.
it identifies Noor. If you see that,
Okay.
that's what makes a Noor person.
I'm gonna stop somebody next
Yeah,
time. and
that
say,
specific
you
bead.
must be Noor. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If they do black and
It's
white.
always either black strip, white strip, black strip,
Yeah. Okay.
or it's always black, white, and red, or black, white, and green.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. If you ever see that bead, that's what identifies a Noor.
And you brought that style to your fashion show here, right?
Yeah.
You just add up a little bit to.
Yeah, I put a little bit. I haven't done very much of like the Noor
Okay.
culture itself. But I will at some point. Their fashion is a little different than Noor
Okay.
people. When it comes to dressing up and things like that, it's much more similar to like the Somali.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if not the Somali, more of like the India kind of. You have the two-piece top and then a long skirt, and then they wear like the chiffon or the colorful print all tied around their shoulder. Yeah, or brought up and then tied up around here, very long, covering the dress. If not that, then they wear like the big long Audrey dresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that. Yeah, except they use more of like the solid colors.
Okay. Okay.
Which kind of more like the Sudanese kind of dresses as well. Either the solid with like maybe gold or shimmery stuff around it or
You
whatever.
have a very detailed eye, you know.
Huh?
A very detail oriented.
Yeah.
person.
So I haven't told the fashion story of my people yet.
Not yet.
No, I haven't
Okay,
gone
okay.
there.
Well,
Because
The next-
once I do, you'll know.
you'll know exactly.
Yeah.
You see, the thing that you talk about, that a lot of culture, they take from a different culture. You
Yeah.
don't know how it came about. You know, the history. Now I was watching a TV show one time
Yeah.
in Iraq, in one neighborhood in Iraq. I saw them drinking coffee and dancing, and it's exact way that we dance back home. I'm from Eritrea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tigrinya speaking.
Mhm.
And I see them drinking coffee with that finjal.
Yeah.
You know, they even call
Coffee is a
Finja.
daily thing. I think
Yeah.
all Ethiopian love coffee.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Coffee is very known for
yeah,
Ethiopia.
it's good to relate that down the line. There's no one culture. We
Yeah.
all, you know,
They
take
share one
somebody
big
else's
culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I may ask you, I know when you do the end product and show it to people, it seems so easy and natural. But is there any obstacles in bringing your show here, or any difficulties producing the fashion, the clothing, and all that stuff?
The one that's in the dance.
Yeah, and then no, not in the dance, on your product. You know, like your show.
Mm-hmm.
I know when you know, every time as a customer you go and see a show, it's perfect. You know,
Yeah.
just like you saw on the Ankara festival, but you have to go through a lot of process, right?
Yes.
Before you get there. Was it difficulty in doing that, in producing a show like that? Particularly you, yeah.
Not really.
And not really, it's not
Yeah,
fun.
for
Okay.
me, no. I think this is what I was born to do, because when I see something,
Yeah.
idea just floats.
Keeps coming.
Yeah, sometimes I can't keep up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because my mind is always busy. It's more busy than my hands.
I can see that. That's why you're doing a lot of shows.
Yeah,
And next year you're also invited back to Ankara Festival, right?
that I don't know yet.
don't know?
Because Ankara Festival just ended last month.
Last month, okay.
So it'll probably take about at least until early next year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when they're gonna start
Okay.
seeing, registrations and stuff like that. But they're like a family to me.
Okay.
They're wonderful people to work with, and you never know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that-
I would be a part of it any day.
okay, perfect.
So
And earlier when we talked, there's also similar kind of shows in Canada
yeah,
and different. Are you planning to go there as well?
I'm planning probably for 2016. Those would be my planned shows.
It's all right. Go ahead. Somebody forgot to turn off the cell phone.
Those would be my planned shows.
Okay.
So far, there's 3 different options that I may have.
Okay.
Africa Fashion Week Toronto.
Okay. Okay.
They contacted me way back. I just never really looked into it.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was too extreme for me.
Okay. Okay.
But now I feel like I'm ready. I'm
Right,
ready to
right.
go to that level.
Oh, perfect.
So I
Okay.
contacted them back not too long ago
Okay.
to see when their registrations would be open, and they said they will get back to me.
Okay. Okay.
So we're waiting until the registrations open.
Yeah.
And the second one is New York Fashion Week Africa. Now I really want to get into that. You know, I mean, it's major, it's pretty big. Before, when I used to see these designers that showcase there, I was just like, oh, I can't do that.
But now it's just a piece of cake. Huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
good.
now it's like,
Yeah.
I think I can do it, you know? I'm up for the challenge.
Okay.
And then the third one is Africa Fashion Week London.
In London.
I've just been following them lately. I've been seeing a lot of their videos and shows, and wow, they're pretty good.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
like I really want to be a part of it. So
And
we'll wait till all registrations open up and see what happens.
Oh, yeah,
But at
yeah.
least one of those.
well, let us
definitely have to
know.
get in.
Well, you know, we can
Mhm.
talk about it on the TV from time to time. But locally, if people wanted to see you doing a local show, is there any contact information that you can provide, like a website, or people can follow you on Twitter?
Yes. You can definitely find me. I'm located here in Minneapolis.
Okay.
I've always been in Minnesota all my life. I do have a website, and I do have a online shopping,
Okay.
and it's up right now.
Okay.
So if anybody like what they see, or if you have a special occasion, birthdays, weddings, wherever you like to wear it to, feel free to go to our shopping online and just select what you want, add on cart, go from there.
Okay.
And it is www.nubicollections, N-U-B-I, collections with the S at the end,
Okay.
.com. You go to that website, you will see all the different fashions that I have showcased by category, Ankara Festival, last year collection, 2014 collections.
It's in there, okay.
And then there's a shopping center. If you don't see the outfit that you like on the online shopping,
Mhm.
feel free to email me. My email is NYAMAL, NYAMAL, B as in boy, O, T as in Tom, H @yahoo.com. It's going to be on the website too as
Okay,
well.
okay.
So,
In fact, we
yeah, just go on the website. All my information is there. You can also write me a message or give me a call and say, hey, I like this outfit, but I don't see it on your shopping cart, and I would like to order it. Then I'll have it set up for you. And shipping usually takes about, between 5 to a week, 5 days
Okay.
to a week, just depending on.
I'll be the first one to call.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have social media up, so you can definitely find us on Facebook, facebook.com/newbiecollections,
Okay. Okay.
instagram.com/newbiecollections,
Okay. Okay.
twitter.com/ it's probably a little different, but if you,
we're gonna display all the information
Yeah.
on TV, so
yeah, you'll find everything on our website. You just go
Okay.
directly to our website,
Yeah.
you will find all their social media, all my contact information, and that's
is
how
it
you'll.
only women dress that you do, or there's male clothes?
Men clothing?
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of requests for men clothing. Right now, they're upon custom designs.
Okay. Okay.
Some of my clients have specific ideas of what they want to wear.
Okay.
Like now, the popular trend is the West African tops, where you have solid colors, and then with the embroideries around the neckline.
Okay.
Those are pretty common. And then you have in the East, the vest now that's kind of coordinated into with the Nutella and all the other metallics to it.
Okay.
Those are really common now in the men fashion. But I haven't designed my newbie collection men yet. But so far, I have been working on upon request.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, on that note, we really appreciate the fact that you came here and gave us all this information. Thank you, NYAMAL, again. and I hope we'll see you show soon locally in Minneapolis, the Twin Cities area. And good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. On
Thank
that
you,
note,
everyone.
we end our program of today, Beyond the Headlines, and we'll see you next week with a different program. Thank you.
Mama ku, mama sa, mama ku sa, mama ku, mama sa, mama ku sa, mama ku, mama sa, mama ku sa, mama ku, mama sa, mama ku sa. Sumanye. Atele. Mosoma, mosoma. Tangativo, umbusa tanga, ne usama kosa. Alumuna, sisi au, yasama kosa. Amuna yeye, koma, sama kosa.